WWE TLC, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, took place last night in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I apologize for the late review, but I finally got a chance to watch the whole show. And before the main card started, you had the pre-show, and they didn't announce anything. The show was a mess how it was built up. And I know TLC isn't really, it's not a big four show. It's one of the bigger shows, but they usually treat B shows bigger than what they did here. What they did here is they just slapped the cards together at the last second, making it feel like a nothing show. And that's how I felt watching it. On the pre-show, they had the panel, and eventually they threw in Humberto Carrillo against Andrade. And the match they had is a Raw match. They've had this match on Raw, I've seen like a million times. Just a match they had to throw together, and they advanced the Andrade Zelina Vega storyline. How it ends is, actually during the match, I think it was really interesting was Andrade had a big gusher under his eye, which was pretty graphic. He was bleeding. And, it was a pretty big gusher, to be honest. So with Humberto winning, Andrade and Zelina continue to have an argument. They yell at each other. Andrade tells Zelina to leave, and he walks away. All I can think of is Aleister Black's coming out. He's going to defend his wife. Andrade's going to yell at Zelina, then Aleister's coming, and maybe it sets up Aleister and Zelina against Andrade and Charlotte. So main show starts finally. And we start off with a ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. You had the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Big E defending their titles against the Revival. Good matchup. Wasn't great. I thought it was good. They didn't do too many crazy stuff. The stuff they did was entertaining. They had some dives, of course. Big E did some stuff with the ladder, some power spots. The match eventually ends in which Kofi is being hung upside down, and the Revival is taken down with as Big E takes out, I think it was Dash or Dawson, one of them. He does the big ending from the top of the ladder onto the ring, which was great, to the ground, which was great. And Kofi is able to fight the other one off by smashing his head in with the belt. Kofi is eventually able to grab the belt after it was swinging back and forth. Kofi grabs it, and the New Day keeps the tag team titles. We'll see what's next for them, but Kofi and Big E win. That was a good match. Up next, they had some commercial stuff like that. Then we went into the match in which I think most people were looking at it as it'd be really good. I've been saying this on numerous occasions if it was on a different show, because this is the kind of show where people are looking for spots. I don't know if people want to see a great working match from a show called TLC. It's all about tables, ladders, and chairs, obviously. But we had Aleister Black against Buddy Murphy, and had a good matchup. I enjoyed it. I'm a fan of both guys. I like Buddy Murphy. I like Aleister Black. I praise both of them and who they've been able to land. Outside of the ring, they both hit a jackpot, but they have a good matchup. Aleister's someone who he's missing something. I don't know what it is. Maybe if he goes with his wife, she can be like evil with him. I don't know. Maybe that'll get to another level. But Aleister, there's something about him where I feel like he can be a star. Just there's something there. He doesn't have that big presence. They didn't promote him right. They put him in the tag team at Ricochet right away. He should have had a lot of vignettes. Being the scary guy. Build it up for almost like they did with Bray Wyatt at first. That's how they should have done Aleister Black, but he's not the star I really thought he'd be on the main roster. Maybe it's I don't know what it's going to be, but he needs something to get him to another level because he has a lot of potential. I enjoyed it, but Murphy's very good in the ring. I think he's just not going to get that push that he wants, obviously. But I think, as a guy, he'll have good matches and stuff like that. But I don't think he'll be a big star. Aleister gets the one with the black mask. Hits it, 1, 2, 3, Aleister Black, your winner, defeats Buddy Murphy in a very good match. Up next, we go to the Raw Tag Team titles. We had the AOP come out, not the AOP, I messed up. The War Raiders come out, Raycom and Razor ready to defend the Raw Tag Team titles, and who was going to be their opponent? I think it was pretty obvious it was going to be Gallows and Anderson. I got that right on my prediction, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if I predicted it, but I knew the Viking Raiders would win. Man, I'm messing up. Anyway, they have an okay match. It's decent, and the whole thing is more so based around Kentucky Fried Chicken. Colonel Sanders promotes this match, and they have fried chicken and gravy, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, I'm so hungry. I want that fucking fried chicken, that mashed potatoes and gravy, actually. Oh, that looks good. I know how horrible KFC is for you, but Jesus Christ, it's delicious. White meat, fried, crispy chicken skin, and a large bowl of mashed potatoes with gravy. That's to die for. I think I'd die for that. Yeah. Anyway, it's a good matchup. It's fine. We all know the War Raiders are going to win. If they're going to beat the War Raiders, they'd build up someone to beat them and make it a big deal. So, as predicted, the War Raiders, they get the win here. It was a decent matchup, but clean win. They're your victors. They retain the titles after the match. They do something with the table, the Colonel Sanders table. They fight off the Gallows and Anderson, and then they eventually choke someone through the table, which was cool. So War Raiders keep their belts. Up next, you go to a match that we get to the. This match was what it was. I mean, you had Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin. So I'm not a huge fan of either guy. They're just trying to build up sympathy for Roman Reigns to see him kill Baron Corbin. I think they're building up Corbin so much that when Reigns beat him, the WWE hopes that the fans will finally get behind Roman Reigns and not turn on him when he goes for the title at WrestleMania, when he faces Bray Wyatt and wins the WWE Universal Championship at WrestleMania. They're hoping the fans don't shit on him, so they think, all right, we're going to build up Bray, we're going to have him beat Daniel Bryan and become a heel, and then we're going to have Roman Reigns overcome the odds. He's going to kill Baron Corbin, destroy him. Now the fans will get rid of Corbin. Now the fans will love Reigns, and he's going to cheer him on to WrestleMania. He's going to be a super baby face. He's going to slay the Fiend, and he becomes champ. And that worked out so well last time. And that's why they beat Roman. They're just getting sympathy on him before they give him, they push him to the moon again at WrestleMania. So, anyway, Reigns and Corbin, it's a standard match. They go into the crowd. They use chairs, they use stairs, they use ladders, they use tables, they smash through the announce table. Looks like Roman's about to put him away. He has Corbin down. He's about to spear him through the barricade. All of a sudden, it's Dolph Ziggler. He comes out, super kicks Roman Reigns. Reigns is down, and Corbin attacks him. Reigns tries to fight him off. The security guards are there. Reigns actually threw a few of them through tables. There's a few table spots. There's ladders. No one's climbing them, but they're using them as weapons. Eventually, what happens is the Revival come out, and it becomes Revival, Ziggler, and Corbin all against Reigns. They beat down Reigns. Eventually, end the days onto a steel chair. 1, 2, 3, Baron Corbin defeats Roman Reigns. So with the help of Dolph Ziggler, the Revival, and his security guards, it took about 10 people, Baron Corbin beats Roman Reigns with the assist of 10 people. So Corbin wins. Next, you go to The Miz and Bray Wyatt, and I thought I picked The Miz to win. I'm so fucking stupid. I thought, all right, The Miz is going to win, and it's going to be The Fiend against The Miz, and The Fiend's going to win at the Rumble. I was stupid. I didn't think of Daniel Bryan, but Bray Wyatt comes out, and he comes out to this babyface music, the Firefly Funhouse team, which was hilarious. Bray with the win. 6-minute match, nothing much to it. It was just nothing. It was a boring match. Miz sucks. They did the whole stuff with the shoulder. Yeah, Bray wins. After the match, the Fiend appears on the Titantron, and Bray gets that big sledgehammer. He's about to kill the Miz with it. It might be a DQ like Hell in a Cell was last time, but he's about to kill him, and Daniel Bryan. And the whole thing, to go back to it, the whole thing was built around Daniel Bryan's big epic comeback. The Fiend's about to kill the Miz, and then Daniel Bryan avenges. He saves the guy who used to mock him for not being able to wrestle, would mock his wife, would say all this horrible shit, but Daniel Bryan's going to save the Miz. Comes out, beats down Bray Wyatt, kicks at Bray Wyatt's ass, hits him with the knee, throws him out of the ring. Bray retreats. Daniel Bryan has a new look. He has the old look, actually, from when he first came into the WWE, when he first debuted on NXT. He has the short hair with a trimmed beard. Actually looks good. So Daniel Bryan's back to the old Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson's back. He just calls himself Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson, he's back. So sets up the title match at the Royal Rumble, which the Fiend will win. Next, go to... Actually, I forgot to mention, earlier on the show, he had some interview segments. He had Caleb Braxton interviewing someone. I forget who it was, actually, but he had a lot of stuff in between on the show. A lot of endorsements, stuff like that, KFC stuff. But co-main event is Lashley against Rusev in a tables match. Lashley comes out with Lana. Rusev comes out, and they fight for a while. They beat each other up. They use a steel guardrail into the match. They bring it in. It goes on for a while. I'm just kind of waiting for the ending to happen. Tables matches don't work because it's just about throwing someone through a table. If you want to make a table match work, do elimination tables match. One of my favorite tables, I think the best tables match ever, actually, is the Hardys against the Dudleys at the Royal Rumble about 20 years ago. That was like elimination tables matches. That's how you make it work. You don't have a match. All it is we want to see someone get smashed through a table. So We knew how this was going to end, and it went exactly how I predicted. So Rusev's about to put Lashley in through a table. Lana gets on Rusev's back. Rusev pushes her off, and then eventually Lashley spears Rusev through a table into the corner. Lashley with the win, and unfortunately, I think the feud will continue, sadly. But Lashley beats Rusev. He beats him with the assist of Lana, and he'll get married to Lana soon. So hopefully this feud ends, and they'll do something else. But it continues. Main event time. Tag Team TLC match. The Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, defend their WWE Women's Tag Team Championships against the Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch and her partner, her arch nemesis, Charlotte Flair. Main event time. And sadly, in this match, we did not get to see Charlotte rub her tits in Asuka's face like we did last year, but you had Charlotte, and the whole match was really built around if Charlotte and Becky can coexist, and you started the match with Becky and Charlotte really dominating the match. They beat them up. You had Becky throw, I think it was Asuka, into a pile of chairs on the table. Then you had Charlotte and Becky they tossed Kairi Sane onto an announce table both times, back and forth. Eventually, the match turns around. Becky and Charlotte, they chase Kairi Sane into the ring after she messes up with chairs, like throwing chairs in the ring was just awkward. But she sprays him with a fire extinguisher, gets him, and Asuka uses a rope in the match, which was, we don't really see that much in TLC matches. They had the heels use kendo sticks. They trapped Charlotte into a chair with a kendo stick, like a computer trying to kick her. And then it was kind of cool. They the Kabuki Warriors, they slammed Becky onto a ladder, and then they use a rope and they tie it into the ladder, and they tie Becky onto the ladder while she's laying on after she was slammed in it. So they trap her like that. And for a while, the match is really slow. Eventually, Charlotte makes a comeback. She beats down Asuka and Kairi with the kendo stick, and there's a chair spot. Charlotte loses the rope with Becky, but she gets hit with the chair, and then however Becky is able to get herself free, and Becky and Charlotte start to gain some momentum as they're both free now. We get a table spot. Becky she does like a senton, or a falling leg drop onto Asuka from the middle rope through a table on the outside. There was a really bad botch. Kairi Sane had Becky and Charlotte on the same table, like side by side. She goes to the apron about to jump off, but Charlotte gets out of the way. Becky doesn't. She still hits the elbow onto Becky, and the table doesn't break. It looked horrible. It was a horrible botch. The commentary is fucking horrendous in this match. The announcers suck. They're shit. The crowd is dead for like 90% of the match. It's not working. This sucks. I don't know if it's Kairi Sane or Becky. One of them was fucking up bad. I think a Kairi Sane, really. She was not good here. Charlotte tries to get her up for a powerbomb, and it takes her forever to lift Kairi Sane up. I don't know whose fault it was, but she eventually gets her up and slams her through the table. But it looked horrible, man. There's so much botch. There's a horrible botch spear before that. So yeah, this match sucks. It's botched. The layout of the match was horrible. They can't, it's so easy to have a good TLC match. Just do a whole bunch of crazy spots. Smash through tables, jump off ladders, hit yourself with a chair. It's the easiest match to have. It's so complicated. I don't know. I think it's Kairi Sane or her. She's messing up. It's just a mess. And Charlotte's going too hard, and maybe because Asuka and Kairi are so much smaller than her, it was just, I hate the match. We finally got a big spot. Asuka powerbombed Charlotte from the top rope through a table on the outside. This was similar to the spot Becky had with Charlotte in their last women's standing match at Evolution last year. They did that spot again. So Becky's about to win the match. She's climbing on the ladder, but the rope was still tied. Asuka grabs the rope and throws Becky into the ropes. Asuka climbs up, and it's over. Just a horrible main event. One of the worst main events I've seen all year. It was a terrible match. It was fucking garbage. Right after the match, it's like a fight. They announced Reigns and Corbin were fighting in the back, and there's a whole bunch of guys come out, a whole bunch of Raw and SmackDown guys. Right after Asuka and Kairi retain, they come out, they fight in the crowd, and it's obvious what's going to happen. Reigns and Corbin go up the ramp or up into the stands, and they're above a platform, and all the guys are fighting, and Reigns spears Corbin into all of them, and everyone falls down. That's how the show ends. This show sucked. Not a fan of the show at all. Final show of the year, the final show of the decade. It did not deliver.